Hello? Hello there. Hey guys, how are you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Hang on. Okay. Nice. Let me see. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? It's been a while, right? I mean, last week I could not record our live stream because you guys know I was not in my office and and the internet connection in Italy was not that good for live stream. So, but right now I was analyzing futures. Let me see. Today, today, today we see the SPY, the mini index, right? The SPY collapsing. However, this collapse over here isn't necessarily that scary because we see a long shadow below the candle's body. All right, this candle opened yesterday, right? And right now we see this movement. So if you ask me, I hate to see the market collapsing like this. It is a very confusing, very conflicting moment. We see the SPY below the 21-day EMA. It is clearly going down, but we see bullish movements once in a while, which is kind of frustrating. Of course, we do have strategy for that, all right? So we're going to talk about that and much more in this live. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Ricky Sony, hello, my friend. You are asking for a few stocks, right? Jamila Moran is asking for IWM. Okay, nice, very nice. GR is asking about the GXX. Okay, yes, Italy was amazing, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And of course, BNS. Okay, yes, we can take a look at your stocks. BNS looks to finally be in trouble with sellers. Yes, well, but it is not BNS's fault. I mean, we see this going on today, right? Take a look at this heat map. On the weekly heat map, on the SPY, for instance, I know BNS is Bank of Nova Scotia, but when we take a look at the broad market, most of our stocks are going down. Okay, not all of them. And to be fair, this is kind of surprising to me. We see Microsoft, Oracle, Netflix, Palantir, a few tech stocks going up. Why we see most of the sectors going down? There are still other stocks that are still performing very well. We can find these stocks, we can trade these stocks, but it is a little bit confusing. Okay, it is a very challenging moment. Eventually, guys, the market is like that, okay? Sometimes we're gonna have challenging moments. Sometimes we're gonna see easy moments, okay? But in the end, we do have strategies for every single possible scenario, okay? And let me see. SRB, good morning. Chart for Mu, AMD, NVIDIA, and Broadcom. Netflix tier, okay, a lot of requests. Fletcher is asking about Meta, Gamers Residence. Hello there, my friend. How are you doing? I'm kind of curious about Ubisoft, to be honest. It is a small indie company after all. Ubisoft, okay. Do they have? But they're not public, right? I mean, I don't know. I seriously don't know. Okay, if Ubisoft is public or not. Jess, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Jay Ball, good morning, Jay. How are you doing, my friend? Ash, good morning, Nathan. Please review Sophie, Jobby, and Oscar. Okay, and other tickers as well, like Atra Group, BMI, ExxonMobil, Kinder Morgan, CLX. Okay. You are now cursed with missing great Italian pasta. Yes. Yes, I'm missing it already. Okay. Italian pasta is the best. All right. It's seriously the best. Now, okay, guys, we have a lot of requests. I will try to analyze all of your stocks. When I see one single person asking for too many stocks, usually we can't analyze all of your requests. Okay. So I need to be fair. All right. I have to analyze to try to analyze all of your requests, okay, of everybody's. But if one person asks for 10 stocks, guys, that's not gonna happen, okay? It's impossible. But I will try. All right, I will try. I will do my best. For now, guys, we see the SPY going down, okay? And then this brings us back to the mini index, okay? E-mini, S&P. Yes, we are going down. However, this candle on the mini futures over here is a little bit confusing to me. Okay, of course, it is not the best signal ever. We can't say, it's a bottom signal. Well, it is not yet, okay? Maybe we will see bullish reaction, maybe we won't. But for now, we see the SPY losing our last support level, 671, okay? So now, guys, we are undeniably, we are in bearish territory, okay? We are clearly bearish. Last week, I didn't even send you guys calls on our Telegram channel precisely because of this situation. I have my own screening process, which, by the way, I have to teach you guys how to do my screening process. But I have my own. I use many filters on my screening process, okay? And on Thursday and Friday, I saw almost no stocks at all doing anything good. And then, you know what? Since we see this going on, let's pass, because maybe next week we're gonna see the loss of our support levels. Maybe tech stocks, high beta stocks are not the ideal at all, okay? I was thinking they were because of this reaction last Tuesday, okay? And Wednesday as well, right? The market was looking very promising. We saw a phenomenal bottom signal, but in the end, we saw this going on, okay? And then, all right, let's take a step back. And then next week, we're gonna reevaluate our positions, our strategy. And then right now, we see the SPY losing our support levels. But Nathan, what if we see bullish reaction? If we see a bottom signal over here, in order for us to see a clear bottom signal convincing me that we could make another rally, we gotta break and close above 671, okay? If we see that happening, all right, then I'll be convinced about the possibility of a bounce to the 21-day EMA. Okay, that's not a bullish reversal. All right, that's a bounce to the 21-day EMA. But for that to happen, we gotta see a close above 671. Okay, this key point over here. We are still below this key point, so no bullish recovery can possibly happen in this circumstance. Okay, for now, we are maintaining this bearish bias, period. We are making a downwards breakout of our support levels. On the weekly chart, we are losing the 21 weekly moving average, which, by the way, it's about time, all right? Because the last time we were below this moving average on the weekly chart was in April last year, 11 months ago, right? Roughly 11 months ago. So now it's okay, right? We see the SPY losing momentum. This pattern is expected. So how do we proceed, right? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in a minute. For now, we see the QQQ. It is losing the 600s as well. It is approaching our next support level near the 588. Unlike the SPY, QQQ is not that bearish because we are still above our main support level over here. The SPY is losing the 671. In this case, what to expect next? Well, the SPY is supposed to reach the next support area, 652. The QQQ is still above our support level over here, but by losing this key point, and to be fair, it seems like it wants to lose this key point, okay? Then we're gonna focus on our next support level, which is near the 559. If this bear market really engages, if we see a true bear market over the next few weeks or possibly few months, 559 is a kind of realistic support level to work with. Okay, that's where I see the QQQ next, all right? But for now, we are still above the 588, so there is still hope, all right? But the SPY is not that good, okay? It is losing our support level, so we see some conflicting information, okay? While the SPY is losing support levels, insanely bearish. QQQ is not that bearish. We are below the 21-day EMA, but we are still above the 588. We are still inside what seems to be congestion over here, so it is a very, very challenging moment, okay? We have no clear signals, no clear direction. One of the tenets of the Dow theory says that the indices must confirm each other. Okay, because if we see the SPY bullish and then the QQQ is not bullish, okay, something's wrong. Maybe that's not a real uptrend because the broad market is not truly bullish, all right? The inverse logic is also true. When we see the SPY really bearish, losing momentum, losing support levels, but we see the QQQ still inside the congestion. We see the Dow Jones Index losing momentum as well, right? Like the SPY, but tech stocks are not that bearish. And then we take a look at this heat map and we see green spot, a huge green spot within the technology services sector. Guys, this is a little weird. Okay, it is weird. It is a difficult moment, and that's why. How do we proceed? Well, that's why we focus on low beta stocks. Okay, that's what we always do, all right? When we see the market in such a conflicting situation, in such a challenging moment, we see many bad catalysts, right? We see war, Ukraine, Iran, etc. We see many problems. Okay, let's focus on low beta stocks. Defensive companies that can perform well even when we see the broad market in a very conflicting situation, because it is difficult even to short. Even if you want to work short over here, you see the SPY already kind of oversold. We are collapsing a lot. We are far away from our resistance levels. Since when we are bullish, we like to buy near support levels because the risk-reward ratio is better. When we are bearish, we want to sell near resistance levels, okay? SPY is far from our resistance levels, okay? The best spot to sell is always near the 21-day EMA or near a clear resistance level like we were over here. But over here last week, we were still inside this congestion, okay? We can't possibly tell. We can't predict the direction of the next breakout, okay? We can work. Of course, we can work with the information we have, but we can't predict, all right? And then we see the QQQ also inside its own congestion as well, far away from the 21-day EMA. So, you know, it is not the ideal moment to buy or to sell high beta stocks, all right? That's why we're gonna focus on low beta stocks from here over the next few days, during this week, possibly, unless we see a miraculous, insanely good, powerful bullish candle bottom signal on the SPY QQQ, confirming a broad reversal on the broad market. Okay, our strategy will remain the same. Let's focus on low beta stocks for now, because take a look at this list over here. Our list is made of essentially high beta stocks, okay? We see few stocks going up, which are essentially Bitcoin related stocks. For some reason, Bitcoin is going up today, okay? It is making a bottom signal, trying to react very well, okay? That's very nice. But equities are performing very poorly. We see Nvidia going down, losing support levels, right? Losing the 177. We are not losing these key points that much, okay? We are still approaching this area, but we are not reacting. So we can say that for now, yes, we are losing our support levels. Nvidia, if you ask me, Nvidia is supposed to retest the 169 again. Okay, that's where I see Nvidia right now. And then if we see another bottom signal near the 169, okay, phenomenal. Possibly it is going to be another buy signal after approaching a support level of this long-term congestion, right? But Nathan, what if we lose the 169 and then we trigger this kind of head and shoulders on the weekly chart? Then this is going to reinforce the idea of a true bear market on the entire stock market, okay? We're going to see the US market in a very problematic situation, and this kind of reminds me of what we saw in 2022, okay? Because in 2022, I don't know if you guys remember, but we had a bear market during the entire year, roughly, okay, since December 2021 to October 2022, we had a bear market, okay? And we have been here since then, okay? We know how to survive moments like this. We know how to make money, even if we see a bear market lasting for roughly 1 year, okay? We can survive, we can make money, that's not gonna be a problem. But the most challenging moment is always during the very inflection point there is turning the market, okay? So now, if you ask me, well, if you want to trade the high beta stocks, the idea is to sell, but we have to wait for the SPY, QQQ bounce back to their resistance levels, and then they should make top signals near their resistance levels, and then only then we can short some stocks. All right, we rarely short stocks. I rarely recommend shorting positions on our Telegram channel, but now if the market turns bearish, then okay, we can do that. All right, we can easily do that. All right, but for now it is a messy situation, okay? It is a real messy situation. We still have to wait for NVIDIA to retest the 169, okay? We have Tesla going down 2.5%, approaching the 382, which, as you guys know, we have been talking about this key point over the past few weeks, even before earnings report, okay? I have been telling you guys, I will be very happy to see Tesla retesting the 382 again. That would be the idea, right? Well, now we are at 386. We are approaching our support level. So hey, let's observe how Tesla is going to behave from here. Tesla is one of the very few stocks that, if you ask me, according to what I know, what I see in my humble experience, Tesla is one of the few tech stocks that could perform well even if we see the spike QQ going down, okay? Because, well, Tesla has its own life, okay? It is highly correlated to different catalysts, right? It is correlated to Musk, to its own micro universe, okay? So Tesla is a good company to trade. Even considering it is a tech stock, okay, it is a volatile company, we could trade it, even if we see a messy situation on the SPY and QQQ, all right? And then we have Lady Amy, which is making a bullish candle today, right? So this only reinforces how crazy this is, all right? AMD is making a bullish candle right now. We are going down 0.29%, yes, but the candle is bullish. Right now, at least, right, we see an attempt of a bottom signal. If confirmed, okay, maybe we could see a bottom signal on AMD. Personally, I would not recommend, but let's say for educational purposes, right? You say to me, Nathan, you know, if AMD closes like this today, right? Closes like this today, I will reevaluate the possibility of a buying opportunity. I'm gonna buy if we break today's high tomorrow or in the next few days. I will set a stop loss below today's low. So the stop loss is going to be of what? $3 essentially. And then I will set a target near the next resistance level. Maybe you can set a target here, 203, below the 21-day MA. Even if that happens, your risk-reward ratio will be very good. I mean, even if we break, even considering how small this candle is over here, right? Your risk is of 1.8%, while your potential reward will be of roughly 5.89%. So risk-reward ratio 3.13. You are not even asking for a reversal. You are asking for just a bottom signal triggering a bounce to the 21-day MA, to the next resistance level. That's okay. That's a valid setup. Okay, I do agree. I'm not going to disagree with you. I always tell you guys, if you know where to set your stop loss, your target, if you know why you are buying, why you are doing what you are doing, okay, I am not going to judge you. Although this is not necessarily my style, okay, I'm not going to judge you, okay, because it makes perfect technical sense. Good risk reward ratio, you have a reason to trade, you are managing risk correctly. So hey, do it, all right? Just do it. Now, we have Palantir. This one, I did recommend to you guys during our live stream, right? On Tuesday, February 17. Guys, if we see Palantir closing above this key point, it is going to be a buy. It did close, and then this one collapsed, almost reaching our stop loss, okay? By a few cents. Let me see. 126.37. Our stop loss was at 126.23, okay? So by a few cents, Palantir missed our stop loss, and that's amazing. That's simply amazing. That's why our stop loss was this key point, and then we saw a recovery. We are breaking our first target, and right now we are heading towards the 165. Palantir, although this one is a volatile company, it has a beta very low, okay, 0.07, okay, it is a low beta stock only because it has roughly no correlation to the broad market's economy, okay? It is a kind of outlier, all right? And then it is performing very well. It is about to reach our second target over here now. But Nathan, we are going down today. Yes, however, take a look at this hourly chart. Higher highs, higher lows above 21-hour EMA. Even on the 1-hour chart, we are still insanely bullish. So what's the strategy over here? Well, you know, all right? Any pullback to the 21-day EMA, to the 145, could be just another buying opportunity. All right, that's the plan for Palantir. Unlike NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, etc., AMD is trying to make a bottom signal right now. It is too soon to tell, I know. But let's say even if AMD closes like this today, I would not feel that comfortable as I would if I see Palantir making a bottom signal near our support level after making a pullback. Because Palantir is bullish. It is above the 21-day EMA. We saw a double bottom over here. Now, on the weekly chart, it is below the 21 weekly moving average, okay? That's the only thing that is very annoying to me, all right? It's the only thing preventing me to say, guys, Palantir is a no-brainer over here, right? There is no mistake on Palantir. No, it is still in a delicate position, but it is way better than many other stocks. So let's see. If you ask me, I would wait for Palantir to close the weekly candle, all right, just for more confirmation. If we see possible top signal on the weekly chart, then all right, maybe we can, then okay, guys, we're gonna change our idea easily, all right? We are not attached to our opinions, to our ideas, all right, because we follow the market. Okay, there is no ego over here. Traders can't have ego, right? If you do have ego, well, you are doomed, all right? You are lost in this market. So hey, let's wait for the weekly candle to close. Let's wait for a pullback on Palantir. Nathan, should we sell our positions on Palantir? Not yet, all right? Let's say you bought Palantir over here with us, all right? Then okay, you can still hold. Then if I were you, I would set a trailing stop gain, just in case, right? So right now, your stop gain should be below Friday's low. If Palantir loses Friday's low today, all right, you're gonna sell. Then if we close above this key point today, all right, tomorrow you change your stop gain to today's low, all right? If we lose today's low tomorrow, okay, you book your profits, all right? What if we maintain the price above? You keep changing your stop gain until we reach our next target at 165, all right? That's the plan for Palantir. Now, guys, I gotta be honest, I have no clear ideas in mind today to share with you, all right? But on the other hand, I can analyze your requests, okay? And then if you have something good, I will tell you, all right? If I can't analyze all of your ideas today, bear in mind, I'm gonna analyze them here in my office later. And if I see anything good, I'm gonna tell you guys on our Telegram channel, as I always do. I will share your idea on our Telegram channel, okay? I will tell, okay, hey guys, this idea is from our community, all right? You guys shared with me, and then now I see that it is a good opportunity, so I'm sharing with you guys today by the end of the day, okay? Near the end of the day, all right? So thank you very much, Julian. Thank you very much. You are a lifesaver. That's very nice. So let me start analyzing your ideas, okay? Let me see if I can find something good. Okay. Okay, hang on. Hang on. CCL. Carnival Corporation. High beta stock. Guys, high beta stock, okay? I mean, it must be very high. 1.74. It is relatively high, okay? Very volatile company. It was at $33 a few weeks ago, last month. Now is at $23. If you ask me, Nathan, is Carnival Corporation oversold? Well, it could be, okay? When we see a crazy collapse like this, usually the stock is oversold. And then you have to analyze, because, so the stock is oversold. Any bounce could be a phenomenal opportunity, right? It could be. Because there is always this, what I like to call rubber band effect, okay? When we see the market collapsing a lot, it can recover a lot as well, okay? And the inverse logic is also true. That's what we saw during COVID, for instance, okay? We saw a huge collapse for 1 month, and then the market exploded, all right? Simply exploded. So this could happen on Carnival Corporation, but we have to do it wisely. How to trade a stock like this in this condition? Do you see this support level? Let me make it black, all right? We have a clear support level near the 24.60. We are losing this key point today because of high volatility, all right? Now, if we see today or tomorrow CCL closing above 24.60, that's going to be false breakout of a support level and a possible bottom signal confirming the idea of another rally, possibly to the 21-day EMA, okay? Possibly. I'm going to add CCL to my watch list because that could happen, okay? I'm not saying it is a buy right now, but if we see such reaction today or tomorrow, it could be, okay? It could be. And then a stock like this, guys, a stock like this would be crazy. If we see the SPY, QQQ also trying to react, right now, CCL could explode, okay? It could simply explode. Any bounce to the 21-day EMA could be a bounce of roughly 20%, all right? So it is a nice stock to keep in mind. But for now, since we lack technical evidence confirming a bottom, confirming a true reaction on the indices, if you ask me, I still prefer to focus on low beta stocks, all right? But I'm gonna keep in mind Carnival Corporation, just in case, all right? Because let's say, the market is gonna reverse like crazy. Okay, we can trade a high beta stock like this, all right? But for now, let's just watch it from a safe distance, okay? Sophie, this one fits on the very same situation, all right? We had a very nice bottom signal last week, and then this one collapsed, okay? Now it's moving sideways. There is no clear direction. Let me erase these studies over here. Now, there is the idea of a congestion, which is kind of reminds me of an inverted head and shoulders, okay? It is a kind of bullish reversal, but what kind of reaction could convince me that we're gonna see Sophie turning bullish again? If we close above 19.29, let me make this line blue, okay? If we break and close above this blue line, we're gonna trigger this inverted head and shoulders on the 1-hour chart. We're gonna possibly also break the 21-day EMA on the daily chart, confirming a bottom above a support level. After closing this little gap after reaching this key point over here, which was a previous top level in January 2025. On the weekly chart, we see this key point a little bit more clearer. Let me make this line visible on the weekly chart as well, so you guys can see it better. We do see last week a possible bottom signal above the support level. Last week's candle was a bullish engulfing, okay? Either way, guys, how to trade a bullish engulfing? You gotta wait for a breakout of the engulfing's high, okay? Of this candle's high, of the bullish candle's high. There is no such breakout yet on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we see some congestion. We can even see a small head and shoulders, right? Inverted head and shoulders, which we can see better on the 1 hour chart, okay? So either way, we see double confirmation of a possible bullish reversal. Inverted head and shoulders, short term, medium term, congestion medium term, bottom signal on the weekly chart above support level. Okay, we see many signals, but confirmation will only materialize after the breakout of 19.29, okay? Either way, it is worth to keep SoFi on our radar, all right? It is for sure. Thank you very much for bringing this back to my radar. But right now, we are kind of far away from making a real bullish reaction, okay? So let's just, again, watch it from a safe distance. And we have Ondas. Ondas Incorporated. This one made a phenomenal bottom signal above a classic trend line, right? I gave you guys this signal. We had a double bottom on the 1 hour chart, phenomenal. We triggered this trade, but right now we are losing momentum, okay? We are below the 21-day EMA. We are not there yet, all right? We are not truly confirming this bottom signal, and right now today we are losing this trend line's support level. So hey, what should we do right now with Ondas? If you bought Ondas over here, you have a few options. Since we see the broad market going down, it is looking terrible, it is losing momentum, okay, given that Ondas is a high beta stock, beta of 1.59, it is interesting to reduce your position. I'm not saying to sell your entire position because we are still above our stop loss. Remember, we can still see Ondas collapsing, approaching our stop loss like Palantir did, and then recover, reaching the $15 again. Okay, that could happen, all right? But given the unique circumstance on the entire stock market, I would not judge anyone if you say to me, Nathan, I want to sell partially, okay? Take a few loss over here, and then if we see Ondas again closing above 10.32, making a bottom signal, sustaining the price above this trend line, making this candle a false breakout, then okay, I will just buy again. I'll buy back the shares I sold over here with a small loss. All right, because everything will be back on track, then the trade to the 15 will be valid again, okay? Will be again valid. But for now, I would not judge you if you say to me, I want to take a partial loss over here just in case before we reach our stop loss, given this unique circumstance, okay? More often than not, like 99% of the time, I would tell you, guys, wait for the trade to materialize, okay? We are not at our stop loss yet. You can still hold your positions, okay? But right now, specifically right now, I understand if you want to sell, okay? I really understand, all right? But it is not a sell for short because we are still above our support levels, okay? Above the 8.87, we do not see lower highs, lower lows yet, okay? So I would just favor the possibility of a sell for risk management purposes, all right? And then Ondas, IWM, okay, yes, IWM. Let me see what you guys are saying for 1 second. Okay. I don't know how to say your name. Saipionsen is asking for short setups. Okay, right now I don't have a clear example of short setup to share with you guys because again, it is not the ideal to, as I told you guys, I already told you guys this, it is not the ideal to buy or to short high beta stocks, okay? Instead, I prefer to long low beta stocks in this scenario because that's part of our strategy, right? We know we have been doing this over the past few years, right? Since 2022, when we saw a 1 year lasting bear market, we know how to use this strategy very well to make money even when we see the market going down. But right now, given that we are on the verge of reversing, the indices are just on the verge of reversing, it is a little difficult to work with shorting setups, okay? It is, all right? But if I find something, I will share with you guys, okay? I can promptly share with you guys. Tesla, for instance, is not necessarily a sell to me as well as you are talking about because we are far away from the 21-day MA, far away from the 422. We are near a support level. Since we like to buy near support levels and sell near resistance levels, this logic is the inverse right now. Okay, you can't buy near, you can't sell near support levels. Because if we see specifically Tesla, all right, which as I told you guys, it is one of the stocks that could perform well, even if we see the broad market going down because it has its own life. This one, if we see any bounce, any excuse for a bounce to the 21-day MA and you short over here, you're gonna be in serious trouble. So I do not have a clear idea to short high beta stocks for now, okay? Wade bro, hey Nathan, could you share your full watch list of stocks, even the ones that aren't currently on your radar? I'm curious to see where you typically look when you screen. Thank you. Well, for now, Wade bro, I gotta confess to you, since I was in Italy last week, and on Friday, my flight was on Friday, okay? So I could not watch the market at all last Friday, okay? I have no stocks in mind. I gotta be totally honest with you guys, I have no stocks in mind, but right now, since I'm back to my office, I'm back to my work, then I will have a better idea of how to proceed. Today, I will have a better idea, right? Possibly today, by the end of the day, I will share more ideas with you guys. But for now, I don't have a clear setup in mind for any particular stock, okay? I'm studying with you guys right now, okay? And during this live, all right? But I don't have anything in mind. But you know what? Since we have a few requests and since I don't have anything in mind, maybe I can share my screening process with you, okay? Live, all right? Live, and I'm gonna screen with you as well, okay? I'll see, maybe there is, maybe we can find some time over here, okay? I'll try to do this quickly, all right? Now, we have IWM losing the support level of this symmetrical triangle chart pattern, all right? Since we are doing that, guys, bearish reversal, okay? Clear bearish reversal. And to be fair, we lost this support level making bullish candles. So this is why it was so difficult to short in this context, okay? We lost this key point making bullish candles. That's very annoying, okay? That's extremely annoying. The next bearish candle was already collapsing 2%, far away from our resistance levels. So guys, it is annoying, it is frustrating, but if you wanna short IWM, you have to wait for another bounce, approaching the 21-day MA, closing these gaps over here, right? And then we'll see. Then we'll see if we can short it or not. But right now, we are near a support level, okay? We are just approaching another support level. If we see another buying signal, buying opportunity, we may see another rally, okay? But for now, it is not the ideal to buy because there is no bottom signal, but we can't sell as well because we are far away from our resistance levels. So guys, this is very important, okay? Do you understand my logic over here? every single week during our live stream, I share my logic for the week. All right, how I think about the market, how we're gonna proceed. It is more like a guidance, okay, for our next steps. Since we are in such a challenging, difficult moment, let's focus on low beta stocks. All right, low beta stocks, stocks with low correlation to the indices. Stocks that are more correlated, that are stocks that have high beta, well, they're gonna be very difficult to trade, okay? Not impossible, but certainly more difficult. So we have to be extra careful with these stocks, okay? Extra careful. Maybe, of course, I can recommend one or two over the next few days, but overall, bear in mind, we have to be very careful with these stocks, okay? The GXX. The GXX went up nicely. Now it is correcting, which is not surprising at all, given how the market is. But we are near the 21-day MA. Now we should react. Okay, if we lost the 249 again, well, then the 208 is going to be our next technical support level. All right, and then we have BNS. Bank of Nova Scotia, which lost our most important support level, okay? 99.21, near the 100s, okay? A round number, psychological inflection point. We lost this support area. Now that we are losing this key point, if you take a look at the weekly chart, we are also losing the 21 weekly moving average. So, hey, now we are bearish, all right? We are totally bearish. Any pullback to the 99, to the 21-day MA could be just another opportunity to sell, all right? Any bounce could be another bounce, okay? We are bearish. We made a double top, by the way, right? And right now we are losing our support levels. We truly reverse the trend on the daily chart, and we are trying to reverse the trend on the weekly chart as well. So GR, my friend, now this one is truly in a problematic situation. I mean, it is not that horrible because, well, $95, the peak over here was 105, okay? So it's like a $10 range. It is not that apocalyptic scenario, but still, I know it is annoying, okay? It is very annoying. It is a dangerous situation. It is not a buy right now. It is possibly a sell, especially if we see another bounce to our resistance levels. And if you ask me, we could see a bounce, okay? We could easily see a bounce from here because we are approaching another inflection point over here, the previous top level, now possible support level. If we're gonna see a bottom signal, now would be perfect. There is no bottom yet, but maybe we will. Now we have Broadcom. This one, unlike many other stocks, this one is actually going up today, right? Going up today above the 21-day MA, all right? It kind of reminds me of Palantir, but it is a little bit more complex because, let me erase. You know what? Let me do a brand new study over here. Because we are in a congestion, all right? Our previous major support level was, guys, I'm sorry. Cat hair in my mouth. I'm sorry. Where is this hair? Ah, this is so... This is horrible. Oh my god, this is horrible. This feels horrible. Okay. We have the 308 as a major support level, right? After closing this gap, okay? We are maintaining the price above this key point. So that's very nice. But then we see the weekly chart making bottom signals. We are just around the 21 weekly moving average as well, okay? So it is not necessarily a bullish scenario, but we are moving sideways, okay? Maintaining the price above an important support level. So that's a good point for Broadcom. I would still be a little careful because in the end, Broadcom is a tech company, all right? It is correlated to the broad market, all right? Now, this one is going up because of earnings, possibly, okay? we have to wait for more confirmation. There is no clear buying signal over here, all right? But there is no sell signal as well. I would wait for a better reaction, but Broadcom looks resilient more than most stocks. So it is interesting to keep Broadcom on our radar for sure. Thank you very much, whoever recommended Broadcom to this live, okay? Thank you very much. And we have Netflix going up nicely after the news regarding the company. Okay, it is not gonna buy Warner Brothers right now. Okay, nice. Now, pullback to the 21-day MA. That's the most likely scenario. Maybe we could close this gap over here, right, at the $86. But either way, a pullback is the most likely scenario. Nathan, so should we short over here? Well, we are not near any clear resistance level right now, and we are above the 21-day MA. So to me, it's not the best shorting opportunity ever. What's more, a few weeks ago, we made this insanely powerful bullish ignition bar, closing above the weekly moving average. So once again, it is not a short to me. All right, because of that, I always base my ideas on technical evidence, okay? So I would avoid this, all right? But after a pullback, maybe we can buy. If Netflix maintains the bullish bias, that would be the ideal, all right? Let me add Netflix to my watch list as well, because it is an idea, okay? But not right now. We have to wait for a proper pullback. Teradyne or Teradyne, I don't know how to pronounce this name's company. It is going up today, which is rare. All right, it is going up today. Let me see its beta. 1.72. High beta, however, not that correlated to the indices. It is trying to make a bottom signal. Let's say Teradyne is closing like this today. It is going to make a possible piercing pattern. All right, what's the problem? This pattern is not near any clear support level. Maybe you can say to me, that's a support level, Nathan. Yes, it is a weak one. Okay, it is a very weak one. But still, it is not the ideal. I would prefer to see Teradyne making a sharper correction on the weekly chart, all right, approaching a clearer support level. But hey, if we see another bottom signal over here, possibly Teradyne is gonna be another buy. So I'm gonna add this one to my radar as well, because it is one of the very few stocks that is actually making a bottom signal today while we see the SPY QQQ collapsing more than 1%. And by the way, SPY is collapsing more than the QQQ. It's collapsing more than tech stocks. This is kind of interesting, okay, because usually we see tech stocks more vulnerable to the bad momentum, to the bad sentiment, but right now we see the inverse. So that's kind of curious, okay? It is, again, a challenging moment. SNDK, SanDisk Corporation, another stock. This one looks better to me, okay? I'm not so sure about the liquidity of its shares, okay? But either way, beta 2.89, so it's high, all right? But like Palantir, it has its own life, apparently. If we see SanDisk Corporation closing above 5.40 today, yes, we're gonna see a bottom signal. And then, Nathan, can we buy SanDisk Corporation even considering that it is a high beta stock? Yes, you can buy, because your stop loss is going to be below today's low, right? 5.17, okay? You're gonna enter tomorrow or in the next few days. If you see confirmation of a bottom signal, all right, wait for confirmation. If you see, okay, then you buy. If you don't buy. Very simple. And then, where's gonna be your next technical target? Because given that your stop loss is of roughly 5.80%, which is high, by the way, what if you set a target near the next resistance level, near the 606? Well, risk reward ratio 1.77. So even if you are not asking for a big reverse, okay, you are not asking for a big fancy bullish leg over here, just another pullback to the 607, that would be nice, okay? It would still be a valid trade with good risk reward ratio. Now, you can set a higher target if you ask me, like the 661, okay, not 5, 661, that's another possible target, but we have to wait to see how SanDisk is gonna close today, okay? It all depends on how it closes today. Either way, I'm gonna add SanDisk to my watch list, okay? Let me see, where was I? Meta not reacting. It is triggering our stop loss today, okay? We saw a bottom signal over here. It triggered our bottom signal. Now it is reaching our stop loss. So there is no use, okay? High beta stocks are not necessarily looking good right now. So hey, let's stay away of it. But Nathan, what if we see tomorrow or today a bottom signal on Meta? Maybe it could give us a buy signal, but right now, I would stay away of it, okay? It is not looking good. Maybe we have better stocks. You guys are sharing better stocks right now, for instance. So, yeah, I would wait a little bit more on Meta. Ubisoft. They do have shares, but in Paris. Wow, that's very nice. I don't think I can trade Ubisoft because I have a problem in trading over-the-counter stocks, and yes, they are not listed in the US at all. But if this one were listed, yes, it could be easily a buy signal. Bullish engulfing above support level, target near the 4.80, okay? So amazing risk-reward ratio, but, well, we can't trade Ubisoft. If you can, amazing, okay? You can buy if we break today's high tomorrow, set a stop loss below today's low, target near 5.85, okay, you can do it, all right? But it is not for me, okay, because I can't trade Ubisoft. I can trade other gaming stocks. I gave you guys a call on the Take-Two, for instance, last week. I'm so sorry. February 24, was it last week? I'm so sorry, let me take a look. 2 weeks ago, okay? 2 weeks ago, I gave you guys a call on the Take-Two. Amazing low beta stock. Guys, gaming stocks, they are no correlated at all to the geopolitical events because we are talking about the gaming industry, okay? It only games, all right? They don't care if they have wars, if they have problems, political problems, Epstein case, etc. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all right? This industry is extremely resilient to the momentum, to the sentiment on the broad market. That's why I recommended the Take-Two last week, 2 weeks ago. Maybe we can see another signal over here. If you missed this trade, maybe now that we are near the 21-day EMA again, we can have another opportunity, right? Maybe, we'll see, right? Let me add the Take-Two back to my radar. No one asked, but still, I'm gonna add to my radar. Joby Aviation, near support level. Is this a bottom signal? Well, not to me, okay? Not to me. If we see better candle, bullish candle today, by the end of the day, making a clear bullish reaction, then all right, I'll be more convinced about a recovery, about another rally to the $10.77. But for now, no. But we'll see today, right? Let me add Joby to my radar because if we see bottom signal over here, yes, we can buy Joby. Oscar. This one is not giving us any clear entry, okay? I do not see a buy signal at all. I see only a bearish reaction. But Nathan, we triggered a double bottom. Yes, we did. But right now we are going down. And there is no bottom signal right here, so let's wait for more information. Okay, there is nothing on Oscar Health right now. On the weekly chart, we just retested the 21 weekly moving average before losing momentum again. So it is a very dangerous, complex situation, all right? I would not trade Oscar in this specific case, okay? I prefer a better reaction. And we have Atria, Altria group. This one, wow, this one, we had a trade in the past. Let me erase these studies over here. Now, pull back to the 21-day MA. Is Ultra bullish or bearish? It is bullish, all right, making higher highs, higher lows above the 21-day MA. Now, the only problem is that there is no bottom signal, okay? Now that we are near the moving average, now that we are near this support level, previous top level over here, right? It is the time to react. However, there is no clear bottom signal that we can trade. So, let's wait a little bit more, all right? It seems that this is applicable to many stocks, okay? We see, near support level, but there is no reaction, so we can't trade. So I'm sorry, but we are not gonna trade. I'm not gonna give you guys calls just for the sake of showing some work over here, because if the moment is not good, we gotta go fishing, all right? As Jess Livermore once said, there is a time to go long, there's a time to go short, and there's a time to go fishing, all right? So if there is nothing to do, there is nothing to do, period, okay? Now, Bristol Myers, okay? Bristol Myers Squibb Company. Again, pullback, approaching 21-day MA. We have a support level over here, which is the trigger point of this double top. All right, amazing, amazing. If we see a reaction over here, all right, we are gonna keep going up, because this one is a low beta stock. Let me see the beta, 0.54, okay? So yes, it is a low beta stock in a bull trend above support levels. If we see any bottom signal, yes, we can buy Bristol Myers Squibb, okay? We can easily buy it, but right now there is no reaction. Conversely, if we lose the 59.25, it's over. Double top, all right? Then we're gonna turn bearish on the daily chart, suggesting a pullback to the 21 weekly moving average. Okay? Bristol Myers, ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, also bullish, all right? Above 21-day MA. Is that a bottom signal? It could be. Let me add ExxonMobil to my watch list as well, because this could be a bottom signal for sure. Hammer candle pattern above 21-day MA. I like the situation. Maybe, right? Maybe we're gonna see a new opportunity on ExxonMobil in the next few days. Now, Nebius Group. This one is trying to react. However, unlike ExxonMobil, unlike Bristol Myers, it is below the 21-day MA. It is not looking good. It is not bullish at all. It is in a congestion. This one kind of reminds me of QQQ, okay? Still inside its own congestion, all right? So, hey, there is nothing too clear, nothing too good, nothing amazing. I'm neutral on Nebius Group, all right? I do not see a clear entry point for to buy or to short. MicroStrategy. Okay, this one is interesting. I gave you guys a call, all right, on MicroStrategy. Pivot point. We triggered this pivot point. Now we are back to the 21-day EMA support level. What's the catch over here? Well, there is no catch. The only thing that MicroStrategy could do that could technically reverse the bullish bias, the possible bullish bias, would be the loss of the 120, okay? We are far away from this key point, so hey, we can still maintain this one on our radar. Our trade is still valid, all right? I do not see a reason to sell, to panic, to short, etc. It is still looking good. However, we gotta see a meaningful reaction very quickly, preferably today or tomorrow. Bitcoin is truly making a bottom signal right now, so this one needs to follow it, okay? It needs to follow it, all right? To me, it will, okay? Possibly it will. Odds are that it will, but we gotta see another breakout of the 39 again. So we can say, strategy is supposed to fly for real. Okay, now we are making a real pivot point. That's very good. But we have to break this key point again, all right? But still, hey, the trade is still valid, all right? The idea, the bullish perspective is still valid. And we have emphasis, energy. To me, this one is about to close our gap, 38.08. And this is it. Okay, then we'll see, all right? If we see another bottom signal, all right, maybe emphasis is going to trigger another buying opportunity, but that's not the case right now. Right now, we are going down, lower highs, lower lows on the 1 hour chart. There is no clear bottom signal yet. I would not short emphasis as well because we are far from our resistance levels. RDW, Redwire Corporation. This is interesting because we do see kind of flag right over here. Maybe on the 1 hour chart, this one looks more clear to me, right? We see a bullish flag. Yes, we are below the 21-day EMA. But if we see another breakout of this key point, making a real bullish reversal candle structure, then all right, we may see the confirmation of this double bottom, right? And then a flag, and then a pivot point on the daily chart. If we see that happening, maybe Redwire Corporation is gonna trigger a buy signal to us. It has high beta, so we have to be very careful, but still, I'm gonna add Redwire to my watch list because it is interesting, okay? It is an interesting stock. BCC, B, my keyboard's not working. BCC, no, BCC. Boys, wait, is that right? BCC. Let me take a look again. Boys Cascade, LLC. I think I never heard about this company before, but I see. The first thing that I saw was this head and shoulders, okay? We lost the neckline, so we are totally bearish, okay? Totally bearish, right? We are going down, reaching our support levels, okay? There is no clear reaction yet. If we see a bottom signal, okay, we may bounce to the 21-day EMA. Maybe we can even use that to our advantage, all right? But not right now. Right now, we see only a bearish candle. And we have CrowdStrike Holdings. Flying, exploding, we saw a bottom signal over here, exhaustion bar, which was totally frustrated, by the way, okay? Then we went down, now we're going up again. Now what? Well, there is no buy on this one yet, but if we see another pullback to the 21-day EMA, or maybe even a lower support level, then we can rethink about buying CrowdStrike Holdings, okay? There is its competitor, which is Fortinet. Let me see if Fortinet is making a clear move as well. Well, yes, we gotta see another pullback to our support levels too, so we can make another good signal. All right, but for now, we have to wait, okay? And we have Robinhood. I gave you guys a call on Robinhood recently, all right? We saw this call was technically triggered, okay? And then we see another pullback after we failed to break the 21-day EMA. Okay, that was a risk. We were aware of this key point since the beginning, but we have a pullback, all right? Today, we are trying to react. If we see another clear bullish reaction above the $77, to me, Robinhood could trigger another buy signal, okay? Another buy signal. But we gotta see a very good reaction on the SPY, QQQ as well, confirming the idea of a real bullish rally ahead, because if they fail, well, other high beta stocks, including Robinhood, are going to drop a little bit more, maybe to reach our stop loss. For now, there is no reason to panic, okay? I see Robinhood as another stock that is making a pullback after triggering our signal. Okay, normal, this happens a lot, okay, it is very common, happens more often than not, actually, so we are prepared for this situation. For now, let's hold it, okay? I do not see any reason to panic, any reason to sell. It is looking very good. And guys, I still have to teach you guys, to explain to you guys how our screening process works, okay? I will try to do that next week, but if I do that, possibly I can't analyze your requests, okay? I see that there is no time, okay? I can't analyze your requests, share my ideas, share my analysis in one single live, okay? And then teach you guys my screening process in one single live, okay? It seems like I can't, all right? So next week, if you guys allow me, if it's okay for you, possibly I will not analyze your ideas, but I will teach you guys how my screening process works, okay? Tell me if you like this idea, if you agree with this idea. Your feedback is what drives me, okay? Is really, really important, all right? But guys, for now, I really have to go, okay? Now is, but I did analyze most of your stocks, okay? I see Microsoft, PSTG, Broadcom. I did analyze Broadcom, okay? Kinder Morgan, CLX, okay? I will take a look at these stocks later here in my office. And then if I see another clear opportunity, I will share with you guys. If the stock looks good, okay, I'm gonna add to my watch list as I did with your ideas, okay? Carnival Corporation, Sophie, Broadcom, Netflix, Teradyne, SanDisk, Take-Two, which was my idea, by the way, Joby, Altria, Bristol Myers, ExxonMobil, Enfas, Redwire, BCC, CrowdStrike Holdings, okay? I do have a list right now. I'm watching your stocks very closely from here, okay? So now guys, again, I have to go. Justin, thank you very much, Justin, for your feedback. Thanks a lot. Gamers Residence, I'm glad you did like the session, my friend. Thanks a lot, guys. I always appreciate your support, your audience. Thank you for sharing your ideas with me, okay? You guys are the best. Now I have to go. Thanks a lot. Stay safe. See you guys soon on our Telegram channel. Bye bye.